All right, guys, we're gonna do another project out in the garage. Go figure. It is, for a lot of us, starting to get to be harvest season for root vegetables. You guys know I've harvested my beets. I showed you a week or so back that I harvested my garlic. I guess it was about 2 weeks ago because that's all been dried. And we'll be processing that and showing you guys how to pickle garlic. Onions are coming in soon, at least around here. And I know a lot of you guys planted onions and you need to know how to process them. How many of you have ever had the issue of rotten onions? Okay, they stay on the floor in the pantry and you get that soft side to them. That's what we're trying to avoid here. I'm going to show you how to build an onion drying table or a garlic drying table, or hell, if you want to dry lavender or anything, anything that you want to dry. The whole point is to get air circulation underneath it so you can store whatever you have, you can dry it efficiently. This is a build almost of trash to treasure using scrap, okay? I have a bunch of scrap 2x4s that was leftover wood from building the portable solar panel array. Got 8 2x4s here that I will join 2 together and make 4x4s out of for my legs. I will show you that. Got a bunch of scrap back here. That'll be my cross members. I had to buy 2 8-foot 2x4s. Okay, yeah, that cost me $6 because I'm going to build a 8-foot by 3-foot drying table. You do not have to build it this big. You can build it at whatever level, whatever height you want. Mine, because of the scrap, is going to be about 2 feet high. And if you want to build 2x2 ones, you don't have a whole lot of onions, great. I got about 300 onions that I'm going to be drying. So yeah, I need a big table. In the back there, you see some hardware cloth that is left over from, probably about 5 years ago when we just moved here and I started my first compost heap, and I had built it, just took the hardware cloth, staked that in, and built just a compost pile in that. Now, of course, you guys know I've built a much bigger compost area. But like anybody else, I don't throw anything away. Yes, I know Mrs. P gets on me all the time. Ladies, I'm not trying to be sexist here, but I know you probably get on your husbands, go, why are you saving that stuff? Trust me, we'll find something for it, okay? It's been sitting out in the backyard for 4 years, and I'm gonna use it. This is a great project, a really simple project. If you want to teach kids a little bit about tools and how to build stuff, this is that simple, guys. It's really, really easy. The first time I had PBJ using tools with me, power tools, chop saws, that sort of stuff, she was 5, okay? She knows her ways around tools because I taught her. This is a simple project that you can teach a kid how to use a saw, a drill, literally to put screws in, okay, and a staple gun. It's all you're gonna need. Not a whole lot of tools. This will probably take you a half an hour to build. That's it, okay? Take me a little longer because I gotta video it, but let's get into this. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do for your legs, whatever height you want it to be at, whatever scrap wood you have, you're gonna need to cut one board 3.5 inches shorter than the other board, because we're gonna marry these two together basically to make a 4x4, but you want somewhere for the cross members to come across both horizontally, perpendicular to each other. So, once we get those put together and cut 3.5 inches short, make sure your bottoms are square. And I'm going to run 3-inch screws, flush, top and bottom. So now I have a beam, a leg. So let me do 4 of these and I'll show you what we do next. Okay, now this part is critical. If you screw this up, you will mess up your entire build, okay? If you see how I have this, all right? Okay, I've got both legs like this. You will completely mess up if you put your cross beam like that. You do not want to set it up all the way across. You want to turn these so that you're only meeting half of this joint with your cross member. And of course, I'm going to run out of space here, so let's move these a little bit. So I want to put this such as so, okay? And I'm going to try to move the camera up so you can see it. So that's how you want to fit it. And then I'm going to drive 3-inch screws through here on either side. The reason being is I want my other beam to be able to connect here. Okay, so now you can see what we're going for. What I'm going to do, why you see this space right here, okay? Because I can lift that board, I haven't screwed it in yet. But so now you see what you've got. This long cross member right here is resting on this to give it support. And all I have to do is drive screws through here, and now I have a firm base. All right, so when it is all screwed together and assembled, this is what you're looking at. So basically mine is a roughly 8x3 table. Now, the next step, which I will show you here in a second, is working with those 2 beams right there. And I'm going to put in cross members, such as so, in here, for 2 reasons. 1, it'll help keep this square, and 2, because this is 8 feet long, it will allow a little support, because if I have weight all the way through here, I'm going to get sag in the middle, which is what I'm trying to avoid. So that'll be the next step, but we're close to done. Okay, the last step, well, second to last step, is attaching the hardware cloth, the chicken wire, whatever you decide to do with it. That is a pain in the ass. I will give you that. Okay, use lots of staples to do it. It's hard to get it because it comes in rolls, and of course you're trying to get it out flat. You know, it's not like you can sit it out in the sun to do it. Use lots of staples to do it. So as you can see, I've got some trimming to do, but I will cut the edges off and I will be done. Okay, so now after putting the hardware cloth on here and trimming all the edges, that takes some fun because every half an inch or whatever I'm running down trying to trim off the edge and get it done. Now, the issue you get, if you can see real close here, you've got a sharp edge on there where you had to trim all the wire off. Easy solution for this one. I'm going to cover that with a 1x4. Okay, so there you go. So now I've got, and I said in the last spot erroneously, those are 1x2s, not 1x4s. But so now you have the edges all covered, and so safe, nobody's going to scratch themselves, also prevents anything from rolling off. That'll work well. So easy project for anybody to do. Take the kids out, learn something how to do the tools. This should take an hour. You don't have to build it with 2x4s, build it with pallet wood. Build it with any scrap you got. I just happen to have scrap laying around the house or laying around the garage from building the solar panel array, so that's what I used it for. I had some old hardware cloth. Like I said, could use chicken wire, anything of the sort. But now I get air circulation from underneath it, and keep it in the garage, air circulation. If you're going to build this to put outside, a couple of things. First off, make sure you build something that's got a roof, because if it rains on your onions, garlic, lavender, whatever you're drying, it's just going to get everything wet, and that kind of defeats the whole purpose. And then also build it with treated wood if you're going to do something like that. And I know people are worried about treated wood and food, but your food's not going to be touching the treated wood, so don't worry about it in this respect. But there you go. There is a simple, cheap, trash to treasure way to make a allium drying table, if you will. So, something fun, good project to do, definitely worthwhile having. Mrs. P said, isn't this going to take up space in the garage? Not for me. I'm going to put hooks on the corners and hang it from the ceiling. So there you go. All right, guys. Have a good one. Pinball out.